Okay, what you're about to see is a two-part video. Part one is me talking about and demonstrating some of the benefits and values that I get from breaking something down into pieces, really studying a movement really carefully, getting into its fundamentals, and then extrapolating from there. Where does that rabbit hole lead me? My students showed up as I was in the middle of it, and I ended up, I don't know, I felt a little bit rushed and a little bit just harried from the morning. So I'm just going to do everything I talked about in the video that I made earlier, but I'm going to just do it silently without words. So what's going to follow is I'm going to cut to the earlier video where I explain it all and what I'm doing, and then at the end of that you're going to see me come back, which I'm going to do now, and demonstrate everything I was working on, but silently, just showing it rather than telling it. So you have two different ways of looking at it. Thank you for watching.
Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Hey, I thought I'd make a little video this morning about just sharing what I get from really breaking down the basics of something I'm doing. And I just want to take you down a little rabbit hole with me, some stuff I've been working on and where it went, what each thing led to, from just breaking down and paying careful attention to my posture and to the way that I move. So I've got my red glove on my left hand and my black glove on my right hand because it helped me to think in terms of red and black, which hand is leading when I do BaGua. So looking at just one thing, the single palm change here, where I started was watching myself do this change like this, and watching myself on video and seeing that I was kind of a little slouchy in here. I was kind of rounded in here. So the first thing I did was start thinking about upright spine. So I started every step of the way, really lengthening my spine a lot and making sure that I was upright every step of the way as I went. Upright, 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 there. And then I started, once that got kind of in the pocket, I started thinking about the lower hand, like especially right here, this lower hand is reaching and it pulls it almost forces me to take that step and pulls me forward into the next position and pulls me around all the way to here, and now the black hand comes around to here. And the other version of it is, don't worry, when they come up it'll just be what it is. When the right hand, or the right hand is leading here. So I was really focused on this hand leading the way all the way. When I step here, it's the black hand leading, right? Leading all the way around. So it's reaching and almost forcing me to make the movements, right? So then I started thinking, hey, this lower hand is leading the way right from the beginning. And then I started thinking, hey, when I'm circling this red hand is leading the way. Hi guys, red hand is leading the way all the way. That's what making me circle in the first place, is this hand is trying to get behind me. Right? So that hand is leading. Now be quiet. You don't have to be terrible, but so there, right? So the bottom hand is leading. So it's leading me in the first place into making the circle at all. So the red hand is leading me into the circle. If this hand is just extended straight forward, why not just walk forward? But if it's going behind me, a lot of BaGua is about getting behind the person. Okay? So here, it's the right hand that's causing me to walk this circle in the first place. It's the black hand that's causing me to take the T-step, right? So from there, that's causing this step, because this is reaching, I have to step to honor that reach. Then I'm extending to make room for it, toeing out to make room for it. This hand is pulling me over to the left, right? Pulling me around the back, as far as I can go, and then leaning forward like that. So the breakdown is now that this hand is leading the way, forcing me to T-step, forcing me to extend out, forcing me to toe out, forcing me to go there. I have to. It's reaching behind me. I have to step. I'm coming around like that. So that made the stretch feel really good, right? So now I start thinking, when you do it fast, like you can do it fast like this, and just, you're walking, plant the foot, turn. But if you've broken it down, that doesn't feel good, because you've got to load this leg here, and when you transfer to this one, you've got to load that, because that's got to reach and come around. So when you break it down, you can do it faster, better. So instead of doing it fast, casual like this, boom, boom, like that, when I do it a little faster, I'm going land. And when I go there, I'm going land. And then, boom, this comes out like that, right? So it's plant, plant, boom. And then I start thinking, okay, well, this is the basic idea, right? That's the basic idea, coming around like that. So then you think, well, that is similar to parting horse's mane, right? The circle in Tai Chi, holding the ball, except with holding the ball, you're coming towards the outside of their attacking arm and coming to the inside of their body, whereas when you're doing the BaGua, you're going to the outside of the arm and coming to the back of the body. Hey Neil, can I borrow you? Okay. Borrow your fist. So if he's throwing a punch at me here, Tai Chi, parting horse's mane, I'm coming in this way. Again, BaGua, same basic idea as if he was punching with that hand, except he's punching with this hand, so I'm going like this, and then I'm coming in with the BaGua movement like that. Now all of that presumes what?
That I'm going to stop here.
That he's going to stop there. Also that I can see it coming, that I can blend with it, and I can move in and do that. So I can see it coming, go there, and do my BaGua. So, you know how to do parting horse's mane, right? So boom. So that's the, go to that way. Yeah, like that. So now try it. so what it presumes is that you can track this thing coming in and get it. So then I started thinking, well, either with this move or with this move, assume that you're not going to be able to track it. So the punch comes, contact, and then go in, right? So contact, then maybe, maybe. So instead of thinking like, oh, here it comes, I'm going to blend with it, I'm going to step aside and I'm going to come in there like that, go a little slower, I'm thinking more like just contact, then here's my ball, then boom, or here again, contact, here's my BaGua walking around. So I start thinking in terms of from contact going into this, or from contact going into this, or into that. So that was pretty nice. And then when I'm doing the circle walking, I started imagining myself doing this very demo, and I'm thinking, okay, black hand leads the way to make me step in the first place. Black hand leads me around here, and then of course there's your strike. So if something's coming here, there's your strike, but of course I would prefer this. It's already there, right? So here something's coming out of the way. Instead of this, So then I'm thinking like that comes in, I'm here, and instead of coming around with this, right, this hand's already cocked. Boom, 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 right on the line. That's more a non-classical Kung Fu or Bruce Lee kind of idea. Closest weapon, closest thing. So then all through the whole palm change, when I come around here, this hand, boom, boom, boom. So again, if he comes there, here, boom. The hand's right there. You don't have to go from the backhand, you can go from the front hand. So I started inserting punches all through my palm changes so that when I'm doing these moves, as soon as I get here, that way or this way or that way, all through it. Same with parting horse's mane. If he comes to the punch, here, right there. I don't have to do this. So there's, it made me, just starting with breaking down the upright, led me to which hand's leading, to which hand is leading from the very beginning of the move, for which hand is making me circle in the first place, in this case the red one, to getting that feeling throughout the form, throughout the palm change, which hand is leading, which hand is stretching, which hand is working, and always feeling that twining between the two, to seeing that they're right at that point there's an opportunity for a more direct strike and putting those in there. Also to seeing the similarities between the horse's mane and the single palm change, and noticing that both of those applications presume that you can feel it coming in advance and adapt to it fast enough, which is difficult. So then I started thinking about working just off of contact of any kind, and then doing the movement, to seeing that there's striking potential at almost every juncture of a palm change and almost every juncture of an application. That's not necessarily the big form thing, but that's a direct from where you are to the target. So not that any of this stuff is brilliant or that this stuff is the best or only way to interpret all this material. The main point I want to make is just that when you break things down, when you start really, really simple and pay attention to every little thing, you can unlock a lot of doors and a lot of things in the form that you don't necessarily know are there. But if you really study them and then think, well, what does this mean if I come to that application? Because, I was really focused on the bottom hand leading from this moment on. And then I realized, oh, it's leading from this moment on. Then I realized it's leading even before that. It's leading while I'm circling. The bottom hand is leading the way while I'm circling. This hand is the one that's making me circle. So one thing led to another, which led to applications, which led to thinking about how they differ and how they work together. So nice stuff. Really recommend it. Take any movement that you know and go super, super basic. Break it down to step by step by step, by posture by posture by posture, and then start adding some flow and thinking, what if I did this faster? What have I learned from doing it slow that can help me if I want to do it fast? So, yeah, signing out from Burnett.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for helping. Thanks for videoing.
So there you see what I did was I started off doing the single palm change kind of casually, noticing that I wasn't lifting my chest much. So I started lifting my chest. Then I started noticing that the bottom hand leads the way, especially after the initial T-step. And so I focused on the bottom hand leading the way all through that change. Then I started thinking about the bottom hand leading the way before you take the T-step. The bottom hand leading the way forces you into the T-step. In the earlier video, I also talked about how the lower hand leads you into walking in the circle in the first place because it's reaching around behind you. And then I looked at the similarities. So I had the lower hand pulling all the way, leading all the way. It leads you into making the circle, it leads you into the T-step, it leads you through the whole palm change, and is the final striking hand at the end. And then I noticed the similarity between the single palm change position before the strike at the end and the holding the ball that you do in Tai Chi before parting horse's mane, and looking at the similarities between parting horse's mane, which attacks the front of the body of the attacker, and the BaGua strike, which kind of attacks the side or back body. Then I started noticing that you could speed it up, the single palm change, and it really helps if you've broken it down to really sink your weight into each of the two main positions. So I pointed at my feet, really weight, instead of just being on the ground, really being in the ground. And then looked at the application from there, going a little bit faster, and also noticing that at any point in the whether you're holding the ball in the horse's mane or kind of the cross hold the ball of the single palm change, that you could go into punching there immediately with the closest hand to them striking first. So I added those strikes, and then I also noticed that doing either the horse's mane or the single palm change sort of presumes that you can intercept this punch coming at you. So I started working from the idea of working it from contact, a quick blocking or flinching forward contact, and then doing the movement out of that rather than presuming that I could catch a punch in midair, which hardly anybody can do unless you really know it's coming. So anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to go home and put this all together into one seamless video that will hopefully be of some help to you who are watching. Thanks for watching.